much for joining this program. The whole objective of this program is to discuss those top 3 entrepreneurial skills that you have mentioned in our group. So let me admit Jagadish also. So the whole idea is to discuss those 3 entrepreneurial skills that you said are important, and because of that, whatever success that you have got today, you got it. So this particular session is basically to discuss that. Before we go into discussing, what we will do is we will do a small introduction so we know each other. Some of you may know each other, but others may not know. So a quick, maybe a 1-minute introduction. We'll start with Jagadish. Maybe Jagadish, if you start, then we'll go to Amrit, and then we'll go to Espira. You have to unmute, Jagadish.
Good afternoon, all 3 of you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Harsha, for the opportunity, and always you're a big giver, giving of opportunities to the pioneers. Yeah, nice to see you too. And my introduction goes in this way. I hail from sales background, being an engineering graduate. Past 25 years, I've been worked for several international companies. I nurtured my skills in set of sales. That is my, it became from job to then profession and then passion now. So, and now real estate, I started again with sales. I started a real estate company with a team of 25 people. I owned a franchise of Remax. If you know, it's a world's best real estate company. I was there for 5 years with them. Then after that, I couldn't renew. I would like to venture out and develop myself as a builder. So now, out of my 16 years of total real estate journey, first 10 years I was into sales, and then last 6 years, we emerged our company as a construction company, full-time construction company, and we completed 4 projects. And there are 4 more projects ongoing now. 1 apartment project in Kukatpalli, Gajulu Ramaram, and 1 affordable housing, around 35-40 lakhs housing, gated community near Sangareddy, Sadashivpet. And 1 high-end premium project in Tellapur with 2.5 crores to 4 crores budget. And near Patancheru, we are selling around 1 crore 25 lakhs gated community villa. These are the 4 projects ongoing right now. And 4, we've completed. All previous 4 ventures are independent houses, and 1 project open plot, total in 5. Open plots 10 acres on Sri Shailam Highway. And we located at Madhapur, right now where I'm sitting. It's our office.
Wonderful.
I think, Harsha, good enough?
Yeah, fantastic. Very, very good introduction. Yeah. Amrit, you want to talk, or we'll go to Espira, and then once you go to office, you will talk? Yeah, Espira Garu, you start off, please. Then Amrit will go to office, and then from there he'll speak. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Surya Prakash Rao. Friends will call me as Espira or Suri. And Harsha Guruji sir will call me Suri Babu. Yeah. And actually, I'm into CO2 and dry ice manufacturing industry, gases. My category, I'm into BNI. My category is industrial and commercial gases. We have manufacturing plants of CO2. CO2 may be used, you may know, soda gas, Pepsi, Coke, and some foundries, like that. CO2 will be used. And from that CO2, we will convert that CO2 into dry ice, solid CO2, which will be having multiple applications, which may be used in frozen foods, air cargos, vaccines shipment, and sometimes in construction also precast pre-cooling purpose, they will use it, and shrinking of bearings and all shrink fittings, dry ice blasting. It have multiple applications. Initially, I started with trading. Later, after getting my clientele more and more, so my consumption grown up. So for that purpose, I need manufacturing plants. So we have now having 3 manufacturing units. One at Kottakota, Mahbub Nagar district, NSL KSL distilleries. We have tied up with them, and we have set up our own CO2 plant there in their premises. From there, we will get material and everything. And after that, Nadi Biotech, which is at Andhra Telangana border, Alampur. There also have one CO2 plant, and one at near Basara, Dharmabad. That comes under, theoretically, it comes under Maharashtra, Diageo, world's top 10 distillery, where Johnny Walker is produced. That distillery also we produce CO2 from there. So on an average, every day I produce 100 tons of CO2. Out of that, we convert that CO2 into dry ice, and we have all end users only. I don't have any dealer network because directly end user is my customers. That's about my profile. And thank you, Harsha sir, for my introduction. Thank you.
Yes, Amrit, you have no choice but to talk now. You see the road and talk.
Good afternoon. My name is
Uh,
Amrit Mullapudi. Actually, I hail from Hyderabad. I've been doing construction business for last 18 years. My company's name is Art Developers. And then I started with a very small capital of 2 lakhs. Now we are doing a turnover of almost 8 to 10 crore. This year should be more. I'm into full-time construction, building apartments. Right now, our ventures are going on at Nagol, Shivam Road, one at Gachibowli, one at Gopanpalli, and one upcoming project at Maradpalli. So these projects will start this year, this financial year, and next year we are also planning for. We want to grow a little more. From 8 crores, we want to do at least 20 crore next year. So I've been working on it very seriously for past few months to acquire some properties for development. Other than that, my educational background, actually, I only completed my intermediate in college. After that, I've been working because of some financial issues. So I started working at a very young age. But
Lucky
still, I
you.
completed my graduation in Spanish language. Then I've applied for MA Spanish, went to Spain for a little while, but couldn't stay there. So came back. I've learned Spanish as a foreign language to teach, actually. Then I was trying to get employed somewhere in Bangalore in a software company, which I didn't want to do.
I think we lost him. I think he's traveling, so we lost him. Anyway,
Sick.
once he comes back, when he speaks at that point of time, we will give him the chance to speak up. So I'll quickly jump into the thing. So each of you, I will give about 10 minutes time to basically explain. Amrit, once you reach your office, we'll start talking.
Anna, actually, I'm at site, so that's the problem. I'm at site, and I'm not in the office. So I already
okay.
left. So just let me get here. Just give me 1 minute, Anna.
So what you do, I will tell you what you may want to do. We will finish off with Jagadish and SP Rao. Once it is over, I will give you a chance. That time you can do your introduction. You can stop the car on the side, do your introduction, complete what
done.
Listen. In the meantime, you listen whatever is going on. And this
Okay.
is anyhow recorded, so you will get a copy of that. So it should not be a problem. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's try to get to the core point of this particular thing. So you both, all three of you have mentioned three or maybe 2 or more skills. I'm calling it skills, not making it very complicated by calling it competencies and all that. Skills are what essentially make entrepreneurs learn something new and then develop upon it. So you have mentioned few skills. So I want you to explain what you meant by those skills. If you don't have those skills which you have written, okay, or the things that contributed for your betterment as an entrepreneur, if you think those things are not there, I have with me all those things that you people have written. So I have it here. It is not only the list of what you have mentioned, but all the people who have given. So I made a list of it. It comes to almost 80 things that have been done. What I will also do is, once you people give this explanation in terms of what it is, I'll compile all of that. And then I will also mention what Pierman said and what your friend, Professor Dr. Harsha also said. Okay. So I'll put those 2 things out here so that you will you will know how this actually is going to be helpful to us. That we will do it in a second session. Third session, we will have success stories. So we will talk, we'll take 1 or 2 people and then we will talk about them. Okay. All will be 1 hour sessions. All will be free of cost. All will be done at least twice a month, so that some engagement is happening within the group and we get to know each other, because Jagadish many times said, many others have also said that we don't know who is there in the group in the first place. Okay, at least this way we will get to know who these people are. So that way, we can interact in a much more better manner. So this is what is a format. So I'll give 10 minutes to each one of you. We'll start with Suri Babu, because he said certain things which fall outside the scope of a skill, like friends and other things he said. So let's go to what he has to say. Maybe Gurtune Andy, have you written down somewhere? Okay, very good. So your 3 are here. So we will go with your 3. Please, I want each one of you to speak your experiences. If you speak your experience, that is more important than anything else. Skill is a skill, nomenclature and all that is not very important. Your experience is more important, because all of you are very successful entrepreneurs. So we'll start with Suri Babu.
Yeah. Once again, good afternoon. Sir, I said about 3 points. One is friends. And second one is, I think, sincerity and punctuality. And third one is reachable to, irrespective of big clients or small clients. Direct access with end user. Harsha sir, you are on mute. Harsha,
Yeah, I got it. So it is friends are my strength. With their support and encouragement only, today I am expanding my wings. Yes, then next one is sincerity and punctuality. Then direct access with the end users, irrespective of small or big client.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are 3 things. So we will talk. I'll put the main screen so that we can see the faces and then talk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, first point is my friends are my strength. Yes, sir. Because from my childhood, I trust my friends because they shaped me something from something. So that attitude continued to till date, because irrespective of any financial or anything, I trust my friends. Sometimes everybody helped me. Sometimes even some backstabs also happened with me. So irrespective of plus or minus, I trust them, because friend is a person who knows everything about you, my bank balance or my pocket or my weakness, my strengths and everything. So automatically they are my promoters of my business. Whenever they see some opportunity, whenever they saw something, immediately they will remind me and they will immediately forward my name. Because I will tell you one thing, one small incident which happened to me with my friend circle. Before I'm entering into this CO2 industry, I'm into some other business. Then one fine day, one of my friend called me from Vijayawada by stating, one of my friend has a problem. They are coming from Aurangabad, so please help them. Okay, what happened? Actually, they are into CO2 industry, and their tanker has been exploded and on the way to Bangalore. One person died and another person seriously injured. So explosive department and everybody, that work is pending. So they approached to me because the vehicle consignment taking fellow is from Bangalore, and that fellow is managing from his end only. He is not caring about this Maharashtra people. So literally these people are facing a lot of problems. So they approached me, and then with the help of some friend circles, I have managed their issue with a minimum penalty, and they have closed the issue within 1 week, and they released their vehicles and everything, papers also. After that, it may be some annoying thing. They offered me some token of amount, almost 10 lakh rupees. They offered me. Suri Babu were very and he also calls me as Suri Babu, sir, just like you said. Suri Babu, please take this as a token grant. No, you came from my friend end. So how can I take it from you? I'm not a broker or anything. Please don't treat it like that. Friendship. Whenever you need anything, you please come to Hyderabad, call us. That's it. So my friend is also, they were also happy. Later, I entered into this business with my friend support, Vijayawada friend. So at that time, I have a big problem. Nobody supported me in the industry, CO2 industry. I approached Praxair, which is a multinational company, American dominated company. They are not supposed to give me dealership. And I approached Sigzil, and like that, everybody is saying, okay, 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 but they are not giving any material to me. So at that time, my friend, Vijayawada friend, told to this Maharashtra guy, actually, he is a leader in CO2 industry. I don't know that at that time. Immediately, he called to everybody. He's one of my friend. He has to give me dealership and all those things. So Praxair has said, okay, we will give, but they are not given any material. Other companies, they started doing it. So Praxair, I told to him again, they were not supporting me. Then one fine day, I got a call from Mumbai. Praxair people called me. Hey, what is this, man? What is happening? What, sir? What happened? You are asking dealership, and we said we will give you, we will consider. But what happened to your friend? What happened? I don't know. He stopped supplying to us. Our tankers, almost 50 tankers are waiting at his plant. He's not giving single tanker of material to us, and he's not lifting our phones also. So we are going to his office now. Sorry, sir, I don't know anything about this. When they gone to his office, and he allowed them inside the cabin, and they sit. And then director of that company asked him, why, what happened, Mr. Chidesh? What happened? Why are you not supporting me? And he simply said, I don't want to do business with you. Why? What happened? I asked a small favor. Give my friend a dealership and material, which you are unable to do. Then what is the use of doing business with you, ridiculous fellows? I don't want to do. You are losing so much of money. I don't mind. I don't mind, he said. Then immediately I called to my friend. This is not the way you had to trade. Sorry, Babu, you don't know anything. You please leave it. You are losing so much of money. I don't mind, yaar. At the time I gave you 10 lakh rupees. You said, no, I don't want. So now I am losing 1 crore, no problem. Let it go. So after that happened, almost India, everybody came to know about this issue. Chidesh supported Surya Babu, nothing like anything. He's ready to lose his 1 crore rupee business and everything. So afterwards, with his support and blessings, today I'm in this position. My day one, I sold only 10 kg of dry ice, sir. My day one sales, my friends' support, with my friends' support and encouragement. Today I'm selling 20 tons of dry ice per day. From 10 kg to 20 tons. This journey happened with my friends only. Not only him, that is the incident. Afterwards, everywhere, some plant is there, immediately they call, Babu, my friend is having one plant, you come and take it. Like that happened. So since then, I trust my friends, nothing like anything.
Wonderful.
And this is my
I think it
live
is.
example.
This is also required for vaccines now. It's so much of.
Yeah. Bharat Biotech is my client. Reddy Labs are my client because I'm supplying both of them. Mylan is my clients. Almost I supply dry ice to 80% of ice cream industry, including natural scoops, everybody, air cargos, including Blue Dot and everybody.
Okay.
That is my first point, sir.
Second point, sincerity and.
Yes, sir.
What is the second point? Sincerity
and punctuality.
And punctuality. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because mine is 24/7 service, sir. Mine is 24/7 service. My outlets are in and around Hyderabad. So whenever any order comes, irrespective of time, it is midnight or early hours, because I have taken some servant quarters near to my stock yards. So 5 to 6 people always will be there. They're staying there only. If there is any order, they will go and come back and take rest. Like that, I have taken facilities. So clients, what they will do, sincerely, all of a sudden they may be required shortage of material when this rice is used in processing and reactions in pharma industry. So all of a sudden, if processing time, if material is shortage, then entire batch will go fail. That is a huge loss. My dry ice is after 1,000 rupees. That batch is costing about 10 to 20 lakhs. Plus manpower and everything, commitment fails. So if they call in odd timings also, I will send material without any fail on time, on dot. So I created a confidence in the customers. Anytime blindfold. If availability, we will go there. Otherwise, we will call him. He will do it. Midtime dry ice required. Okay, Surya is there. You call him. That's it. Plus sincerity. Sincerity means, here comes, I will tell my clients openly the things. In summer, it's a peak shortage for dry ice. And prices will go abnormally shoot up. So I tell them very frankly, sir, coming 2 months, material shortage is going to be very severe. Trust me. And increase the price for 5 rupees per kg for those shortage periods. Later again, I will revert it back. Some people will accept and some people will say, no, it's not possible for us. Then after 15 days, they will come back again. sir, the material is not available, please give me. Even though you increase 100 rupees, I am not supposed to give, because already my commitments are there for my customers, existing customers. I don't want to earn, and I don't want to loot my friends' pockets, my customers' pocket. I'm very comfortable with my margin. So just I will tell them. Sincerely, I will tell them everything, what is happening in the industry. So one time, two times, they won't listen. Second time also, they won't listen. Third time, they will trust me. Simply, Arey yaar, he is the person who will, whatever he says, it's going to happen. So why should we take risk? That's it. That's it. The sincerity and punctuality plays with our business. And third point, coming to the third point, irrespective of direct access with the clients, irrespective of big or small. Now I have a clientele from Milan to Bharat Biotech, Reddy Labs, Blue Dot, like that. And apart from that, even 1 kg customers are also there, 10 kg customers are also there. So everybody, if they call me, I will answer their calls. They feel very happy that owner of the company is talking to me, means that is something different feelings, sir. You won't believe. Marketing people talk to them, different matter. Some people talk to them, accounts people talk to them, that is different. But if owner talks to the end user, client, that feeling will be different. He feels something very happy, connectivity. So suppose my competitor goes them and approaches them, they will say simply, sorry, sir, I don't know about all of you. I don't know anything. If any problem comes to me, I will call to the Surya Prakash. He will respond us immediately without any hesitation. Same thing happens with Bharat Biotech also, Milan also, Reddy Labs also, but 1 kg customer also. What happened one time when I am in shop, outlet, stockyard, one sudden order came. Some ice cream people called for 100 kg. Nobody is there. Already stocks all gone. What to do? Immediately I started my Innova. I took that material and delivered it to the customer. You won't believe, sir. Whoever, any company person goes to there for marketing purpose, they simply say this quotation. Who are you? Marketing unit. Okay. What do you do? Okay. Okay. Where is your company? Mumbai. Who is your owner? Okay. Here, what will happen if I place an order? If you won't come, your Dadabai will come from Chennai, or your boss boy will come from Mumbai to deliver. But here for us, even though their staff won't deliver, boss will come to deliver the material. Sorry, sir. We have beautiful relationship with you. So that's the personal bondage, personal bonding, unbreakable. You can't break that relation. Even though you give him a 10 rupees price difference, even though you give him 20 rupees difference, he don't want to go there. He want relationship with you, and he will maintain that relation forever because of the sincerity, punctuality, attachment you are giving him, service you are giving him. So these things, three things, definitely a big bonding for everybody and users mainly. 1 kg customer today, he may be 1 kg customer, sir, but his mouth campaigning and everything, tomorrow he will bring 100 members back to my business.
Thank you. Thank you for taking 9 minutes.
Thank you.
52 seconds. You still have 8 seconds. Okay.
Thank you.
Minutes I said, but you took good time.
Thank you, sir.
So what you're basically saying is, you're saying three things.
Yes, sir.
One, you're saying friends actually are the
Yes.
people that you trust, basically because they trusted you and gave you business. That is number one. More importantly, good or bad, whether plus or minus, you trust them because they have been like that with you. You know, you are a lucky person to have some good friends. Of course, there are some people who backstabbed you, but there are some good friends.
That may be, yeah.
It's part of life, but it friend
sir.
very well. In all the three things, friends, sincerity, punctuality, and also direct access, what I have seen very common is relationships.
Yes.
I think what you placed more importance is on relationships. Because of relationships, you have your own small network. Okay, and that network is helping you. Network of friends, even those are introduced to you subsequently by your friends, also became friends.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so relationships and networks are very important skills for entrepreneurships.
Yes, sir.
Entrepreneurs, is that correct? Can I say that?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Okay, that is number one. Second, you said is that sincerity and punctuality is, you said sincerity because if you're sincere, transactions will be transparent. You
Yes,
will
sir.
tell when the price hikes will be there, when it will be low. So do
Yes, sir.
transparent business and also
Yes, sir.
maintain time commitments, whatever commitment you have given,
Commitments.
do those commitments. So those are the 4 things you have said: relationships, networks, transparency, and commitments, fulfilling commitments. Right? I think you're there now.
Yes, sir.
Those 4 things.
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. So relationships, network, and then what did I say? Transparency,
Sincerity.
and then transparency, and then
transparency.
commitments. Delivering on commitments. Delivering on commitments.
Yes, sir.
That is very important, right? If you deliver on commitments in time, things will really
Yes,
happen
sir.
very well. Thank you very much, Andy. So I will now go to Jagadish. You also have about 10 minutes. You can take more also, but 10 minutes is broadly, I think, it sums up. You want me to put it on the screen, what you have said, so that you will have.
Yeah, I think I remember 2, but you can put it up on screen. One is sales is my skill.
Yeah. You wrote things like, sales, branding, and vision. These are the things that you have said,
Yeah.
which brought you success.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope all 3 things fit into a skill set, Harsha?
No, don't worry about the technicalities part. I will do that part later. What is more important is,
What I think about what is my
knowing what, because when you say branding your company and all, you're talking a lot about customer, building trust and all those things, right?
True.
So see, directly, indirectly, we all will speak what professors have spoken. Okay. It's your experience that is more important.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
So yeah. Let me start my first skill, sales. Most of the time people, they ask me the way I probably, always that the person opposite you sitting will know, realize in a conversation or in a meeting, in a discussion that what are our, skill set, especially sales is something like exposed, right? If you're a good salesperson, people start recognizing that, you sell good. So most of the times that happens with me. End of the conversation, they say that it's very tough to win a conversation with you. That being a sales guy, this is what always people put it up. So how I nurtured this skill, gained it is because I was looking for something a challenging job. My first job was a salaried job in a Blue Star. I worked for 1 year, taking salary on every month first, and then really I was not enjoying because it's end of the month and salary and not challenging. So I started asking my friends, colleagues, that what is that something in life where it can be completely engaged, challenging, and entertaining. I want every day. Then they said sales is the area you go. You find a nice company and do it. So I worked for. I started with Eureka Forbes. I sold that. If you know Eureka Forbes, hardest sales job.
The best training ground. It's the best training ground for anyone.
Yeah. Sometimes I believe, if you look for something, you get into. So I was looking for such career. So I've been reached there. So then I enjoyed thoroughly for 1 year and little more aggressive than Eureka Forbes. Though it was not branded like Eureka Forbes, but DS Max was one company. I joined there. It is like 10 times more harder than hardcore sales training than DS Max. I mean, Eureka Forbes. I was in Bangalore for 7 years, and it was very hardworking, challenging. Exactly what I was looking for. I want the challenge, and I want the results proportionate to challenge, and I want that fast growth in the career. not the slow motion, but so everything was visible. What and all I was looking for, what are my interests, and I fit it there, and I was very happy, satisfied. That was very good company. Even still, today I'm proudly say that I'm product of DS Max sales company. I'm happy and proud to say that. So it started from there, and every time I started enjoying that sales career. I just joined as a trainee and built my career as a senior manager level there, where there were 8 branches under me. All these 8 branches were reporting. Out of 4 branches in Bangalore, 4 branches were in Hyderabad. And it was unfortunate that the company was shut down. All of a sudden it was. Then I shifted to Hyderabad. I started again working for sales company, another sales company. It is all about early childhood concepts, child psychology. Again, selling concepts, books, all audio, video, visual products, and all that. I was heading as a manager for a Malakpet branch. Then I realized that it's all about what you sell, so you get. If you sell a pen, you get probably 1 rupee. If you sell a computer, you get 100 rupees. If you sell a car, you get 1,000 rupees. If you sell real estate, you make more money. So then I thought, the big cake is available in real estate. Same effort, same time, same skill. Why not? Why not make more money and see big success? Then I started in real estate. I didn't start like an agent going here and there behind builders, selling one flat there, one apartment here, one plot there. But because I hail from the sales background, I know how to train people. Always, I love to work with teams. I was never been an individual throughout my life. Every time I love people around me, especially my team. So I built a team. I started targeting builders who are looking for exclusive sales marketing teams. Rather than just I go and say, if we are constructing 100 flats apartment, I say I sell 2-3 flats. Rather, I take up from 1 to 100. I say an exclusive mandate and sell. It was very tough for me to convincing builders. It was not easy go. It was challenging, but yes, I worked very hard in convincing people in initial stages. But once people realized that it works better, that somebody's taking care of entire sales part of his construction business, it's very easy for him. He can just look after his construction activities and acquiring land and finances because someone else is taking care of his sales. So when this goodwill built, people started where I had to search for builders in initial stages, and after some time they started searching for me. There were a lot of inquiries asking for our properties there. We are building new. We are starting a venture. So we achieved a stage where we cannot handle the inventories. Like we had less manpower and more inventories. From where I have to go and request a builder there to here. Then always I believe and look forward that what is next. Always I ask myself, what is next? Enough is enough. What is next? We made good money in real estate. What is next? Then why don't we emerge as a construction company? Then yes, it was again challenging. A real estate company transforming into construction company, not easy. The mindset of my team, myself, roles and responsibilities, and there is a lot of work here. Sales is one part of construction industry. The moment you become a developer, you have 10 jobs. There are 9 more jobs added in one night. The next day morning, you wake up and say, I'm a builder now, then I have to do all 10 things. So yes, I took up and I started talking to my team and enrolling them from here to there, how it can be. What is that transition period it takes and how we have to cope up with it. We have to tell all the builders, sorry, we stopped real estate company. Now we are self-developers. So it's very hard to tell that. People had a lot of confidence in us that we can sell them, support them and all. Yeah. Then it was fortunate that the first venture itself, a big venture, we got in Bachpalli. It's a 14-acre gated community housing project. We delivered that, and after that we have done another 50 houses, and after that 130 houses and 10-acre layout on Srisailam Highway. It's open plots. All these things happen because I believe that that sales skill what I have, I myself, as a being good experienced salesperson, and always I train my people. On weekly basis, every Friday morning, we have a meeting. Friday meeting, we call it as, because Saturday, Sunday is crucial days for real estate people. So I train. So I express my love to my team by training them, giving my experience, sharing my experience. And today I'm proud, man, happy to say that I have at least 1,000 realtors I trained and sent in the market from my office. And those are some of my trainees. They've built offices like me successfully. They're running. Some people are individual, they're working. But yes, I'm very much happy. Always the way they show their gratitude to me, I enjoy. I feel like more training people and more sending out. I cannot maintain 1,000 people in my office. So yeah, sales is my very hardcore area. I eat, sleep, drink, breathe sales. That's it. Though I'm a builder now, developer now, but I sit in sales chair.
Yeah.
I
So
always believe.
branding and vision, what you actually meant by them?
Yeah, the next is vision. Branding?
Yeah, you said branding and vision, but I leave the choice.
Yeah, branding. Yeah, the branding is something like I believe that building trust in people. It is not that just building homes, selling and make money, being happy. I come from that sales background. When I sold the residences for the people, I always understand that they look for a trust in the transaction. They look for that faith and that confidence in that builder. Most of the times, I sold property not because of the property or location, but because of the builder who is building it. I understand that people see who is building it. What is that company building it? Then I realized that it's important for me to build a brand. I'm happy again to say that we received a few awards, the most trusted real estate company in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh for the year 2019, and a most famous brand in 2018 we have got, and a real estate leadership award we have got in 2017. So we have got around 5-6 awards for our work. So I always believe that if you want to become successful as a company, as an entrepreneur, you have to see that you are building a brand parallel along with your business. That brand builds the business again. It's interlinked. Yeah. The third one is,
You said vision,
vision.
and in vision
Yes.
you said visualizing the future of the business today.
Today, yes. Again, in real estate, it is very tough. There is a huge gap between a developer and a buyer. A developer sees 10 years future today. Say we are in 2020, I know what will be in which area at 2030. It's very tough for a buyer to visualize that. He's a simple buyer. He has need not to be win, unless and until a smart buyer. So it is, I feel it's my responsibility to bring down my vision to the buyer. For example, I'm going back again. Vachpalli, when I sold, one gentleman asked, I remember very well, out of the 250 houses I sold, one gentleman said, Jagdish, you're selling and buying, it's all right. But as a friendly question, how many years it takes for the people to come and live here? That was the question he asked.
Correct.
Then I asked him back, how many years you think? He said, maybe 10 years. I said, 2 years. Forget about 5 years, 2 years. And third year he called me and he said, as you said, it's not only that people are living here. The price what you sold me is 45 lakhs house. Today, my property worth of 1 crore 30 lakhs. So that is what actually it is, as a developer, I think it is a responsibility to, download that vision. They're just simple buyers. They have some money they want to buy, but they can't visualize. Today, we are building again the same second venture at Sadashivpet. It is 60 kilometers from here. Now, again, it's a visionary project. People say that 60 years, who will go and live there? Again, I tell the same. What Hyderabad is going to be next 5 to 10 years down the line, there will be 8 to 10 satellite townships going to come up. Each satellite township will become Hyderabad and Secunderabad again. They have their own, cities. So that is where the vision, yes, people with that vision, I'm selling that vision right now. And out of 300 houses, we are doing in a 29 acres layout, 100 houses we sold with the same vision again. All my friends, colleagues, get surprised that how are you selling? I say, I'm not selling house, I'm selling my vision. So people people who believed. Recently, one gentleman came and sat in front of me, said, "I missed that Bajpalli venture. The same thing same words you said that it's a visionary project, but again you are saying about Sadashivat. I want to buy, and he bought it one." So it is very important for a business owner. He has to visualize his business down the line, next 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, short term, mid term, long term, where we land up. And it's very challenging, but we have to be responsible in doing it, bringing that vision and that knowledge exactly, downloading to your customers. It's very important. I think I'm done with my 10 minutes or more than that.
About 15 minutes or so. That's okay. So what you are saying is it is
Harsha sir, with your permission, can I ask sir one small doubt?
Go ahead.
Sir, every time, every time and everywhere, I have this doubt comes into picture. Just what you said is 45 lakhs, you sold one house to him. Later it became to 1.35. You have such a visualization and everything. Why don't you people hold them for 1-2 years? Because right now I'm staying at my home zone. They sold it around 40-45 lakhs at that time, my home zone. Now it is 1.45 lakhs they are selling. So hardly within a short time, it's growing up more and more. Why builders are losing their money every time? That's a doubt for me, and I have some hinge. Every time I feel, why they sold it? They can hold it for 1-2 years.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yes, I think it's very logical and very good question. What builders do is, of course, it's a business. Basically, it's a business. It's not to own it up. The returns on investment, and there will be some investors where we have to exit and pay them back the money, or sometimes we get money from the banks, borrow money from the banks, and we have to pay them back. So these are the clauses. And end of the day, I also do this, and I'm sure few builders do this. Most of the builders do it. Some portion of it, they hold it. If I'm not wrong, maybe 2%, 3%, 5%. They will see that exit clause by when they get all their credits or the money borrowed from the investors, the banks are paid back, and the project is realized. There's no expenditure. There's no more expenditure in the project. Then they hold it. They hold it. You cannot own. In fact, when you're building a 100 crore business, when you're building a 100 crore apartment, 100 crore rupees is not yours. Only your investment and your profit is yours. The remaining 80-90% is the customer's money. So in that case, what people do when they foresee that maybe they keep 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, as I said, depends upon the profit margin, they hold it. I think most of them, they do it, and they sell when the price is hiked, and they invest that money in other upcoming projects. That's what I do, and everyone does the same. Hope answered your question.
Thank you, sir.
No, even a selling gold can't keep gold. He has to sell to make money.
To sell petrol.
No, that's true, sir. Yeah, that's true. But in front of our eyes, within 1 year, it's going.
I know.
No, it is land banks. Look at my home and all that. They just keep land banks. The land bank itself is a business,
Yes.
So, so basically, what you're saying is sales is a process which works on the reputation of the product, okay, or the person who is selling it.
Both.
Okay? So customers usually, when they're buying it, they see from whom I'm buying, so whether they can trust them, they have confidence in them or not. Yes. And then even if you have to sell vision to somebody, then what is very important is that you need to have credibility, without which people will not buy from you. That's exactly what you're saying, right? Are you there, Jagadish? No problem. I'll come back to you a little while later. Maybe he must have got cut off. Amrit, you are there. We will come to you now.
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, Amrit, go ahead. Jagdish, I will come back to you in the end.
Yes.
I don't know whether I communicated it enough to you.
Yeah, you made one point about sales.
Yeah, Amrit, 1 minute. I'll just finish off with Jagdish, then I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
What I said is that you are basically saying that trust is the basic thing
Yes.
on which you will be able to sell, because you have to first create the trust on the basis, confidence especially, initially confidence. Then once they buy, they experience it, trust will come. And when trust comes, then you will be able to sell a vision also. So basically that is a sequence you have spoken about. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to Amrit. Amrit, you have more time. We may be overshooting by about 5-10 minutes, but that's okay. You can go ahead and give us your introduction, which was left in between. So give your introduction, and also the 3 areas which you have written in the thing. You want me to show them to you? I can easily show them to you. Or if you
Actually, I will start with the question which Jagdish ji has answered about SP Rao Garu. Actually, sir, there are a number of companies around the world, actually, not in India especially, because of taxation, which don't hold. Our interest rates are higher. Our money which we take as credit, the prices of the products will increase. But if you take any company in Europe, any construction real estate company in Europe or in US, each one holds 500 flats, 1,000 flats, which they give it on rent. They hold all the project. If there are 1,000 flats in the project, they hold all the 1,000 flats. And they make 100 times, 1,000 times more money than what a normal real estate company makes there also. So there are companies which they do that, which they hold properties for longer time. Even if you see in the US, there are also 50-year-old buildings which totally they're holding, the same company which has built is still holding them. So it is not that, maybe because of the Indian mindset, the builders, they want to make money or see the money which is coming in, either small money or big money. A big player or a small player, they want to see money, they're getting out of it. But I think if the laws are placed properly in India also, I think you will also find construction companies where they're holding 1,000 flats, 5,000 flats.
No, it is.
They are only maintaining for a number of years.
It is more to do with the risk in India than in other countries, because in other countries, they don't say this is a farmland. After building, they will not come back and say this is agricultural land, remove the building. In India only it happens. In other countries, it doesn't happen like that. See, for example, if you go to Singapore or you go to Malaysia or US, any place, the lands are very clearly allocated for what purpose you are supposed to build it there. So that's why Trump and others have made money. And remember, people like Trump also made lot of losses in Atlantic City and all that. They have held a lot of assets and they made such huge losses. So anyway, it's a very debatable point, and you are absolutely right, Amrit, that if the laws are better, things will be better. That is true.
Sir, when going back to the 3 points which I've given, the first point I remember is the emotional balance of an entrepreneur. Either he's making money or he's losing money. He should not lose and it would be the basis of the business. The basic bottom line of that entrepreneur, particularly whether it is a proprietorship or he's running a corporation, corporate level, managing director, whatever level he may be, he should not lose his ability to think and to increase the ability of the company at any point of time. And he should increase his emotional or the intellect level from time to time to take his company from 1 crore to 5 crore, 5 crore to 10 crore is totally a different kinds of mindset once you start growing. We have seen so many companies touching 100 crore going down the drain. We have seen a company starting with 1 rupee getting into 1,000 crores. So the mental ability, the emotional ability of a human being who is running the company and who is motivating his staff or to keep their people, the right people at the right time, even at lows or even at highs, to hold on to the staff is much more important to an entrepreneur. Every time you come up with a new staff in your company, so you have to, when you replace people, everything starts from zero again.
Right.
So your ability to deal with your own people, deal with other people. So it is being in the top place to take the company to the next level. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of mental balance and emotional balance for that particular person who is going to take a decision. Because today I'm in a bad mood, I come to the office and I can't and ruin the day. Who is sitting beside me, who is doing my accountant, I can't just ruin his day because of my emotional imbalance. That is the first topic.
Yeah.
And especially when people make money, who have not seen money, they make money, they will some people are like, even if I buy a car, it doesn't excite me. So that you should kill your excitement nerve. Every time you get excited, you buy something, you get excited, you make some little money, you get excited. Excitement of what? Excitement level, if somebody fixes an excitement level that I've done so much, I'm so great, then that's it. From that day, it'll be a total different structure of the company again. Ego levels rise, you start disrespecting one of the staff who has not done well for last only 1 quarter before you would have done well. So everything gets into a different, it will go into a wrong direction. That is the first thing. Second thing, to market yourself, right? And that's what I remember. Second thing.
When there are financial troubles, we should work more.
Yes, when there are especially financial trouble, people who come trust you, give you money, even if you are not selling or at any point of time when you are selling, not selling, if there any project is locked, any kind of business, any business, any hotel business or any business, if you are locked for a certain time, you should not get into panic mode. The moment you think that you are losing money, your emotional balance will go off. So the specific entrepreneur in any business, when he is losing money, he has to spend money to earn money. Generally, what happens is once I start losing money, right, I get into panic mode that I'm losing money. Now the car will go, house will go, everything will go. This panic should not come. Okay, it happens. If one car is gone, doesn't matter. Or if you wanted to buy a car, you didn't buy it, doesn't matter. If you have a plot, 1,000 square yard plot, you're selling the plot to get into that business or you're reinvesting into it to get into a better position, doesn't matter. But what happens is once you see that you're going to hit a loss for next 2-3 years, or the market is going to be stable, you may not make money. What happens is now Indian mentality is that now, ye paisa, jo balance hai kaisa bachayenge? The moment you think that I want to save this balance amount, whatever I have, my house, my car, the flats I have, now you go into this save mode. Any corporate, whatever turnover he has got, 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore, from any company you take which are bad debts of loans. The moment you think that I want to make this money, I want to save this money, the company goes to the shelf again. That should not happen, because once you have a brand name and you're going into trouble, you're into troublesome water, you should have that patience to give, revamp, redo your accounts, market yourself more. If you're for example, if you're a steel company, you're going up and down. You market yourself
you speak more about your own experiences. Don't give other examples.
Okay, my experience. Oh, my personal experience.
Yeah, the whole thing is your own experience. You don't.
I mean, that is all my experience, but I don't know where to place it as an example.
Yeah, don't give specifics.
See, Anna, actually, what happened is that 99 I started working and I was doing. So at a moment of time, we were not able to market our own product. So we had a distribution. So we were not able to market our product. Advertising, the company said, we are not going to give you money. We are just going to give you the product. Now our product is a retail product. We have to go and sell it everywhere, in every store which is possible. So that time we didn't have money to spend for our own advertisement to keep our company going running. So the moment we stopped, no, we are not going to put money to market our own selves. The moment we closed, till the moment we were putting money into it, marketing the product, advertising ourselves, even if we don't have money, the money was generating. One or the other money was coming in. Even if we give credit, the money was coming back. But the moment we stopped thinking we are overworking, which we were not doing any overworking, we were doing the same process what a sales do. So that kind of issues also we have failed.
Very good, very good. I think so. Basically, what you're saying is that you want to cover the last one, then I will sum it up.
If you're going down, you have to spend money to make money. That is the bottom line.
Yeah.
Even if you're making a loss.
Yeah, got it. Because that keep the ball. Basically, what you're saying is keep the ball rolling.
Rolling. Yeah.
Keep the ball.
You may not give to 10 shops, whatever. We were not able to give the same product to 10 shops, but even if you give for 3 shops, this slowly the 10 shops old money will come back.
Correct.
So you have to hold on. When you don't have money, when you're making a loss, you spend money to make money.
Yeah.
That is what we have done.
Okay.
Even when we don't have money, we are still doing the construction work. Even the money comes in, money doesn't come in, the work will not stop.
No, that is how all the entrepreneurs say, when I signed that contract, I had 1 rupee in my bank account. People always say that. That's how business is. Business is, mobilizing money is one of our main responsibilities. So, yeah, very good. I think you have said it.
And especially Jagdish, sir, it is at the sales experience he has got. I think any company joins any real estate company, it will get into a great place for the experience he has got.
Correct.
Selling in Sadashivpet, not a joke. I'm not able to sell in Madhapur sometimes.
Thank you.
Okay, the last one you talked about is trusting people.
Yes. This is the same thing what SP Rao Garu was saying.
Okay.
And trusting people is the most important thing, from an office boy to a customer to a vendor. Irrespective of they trusting you or not, you have to trust them. For example, yesterday I bought a car. I went to the showroom. They gave me a quotation.
Okay.
In that quotation, the car said 22,79,000.
Yeah.
I paid 22,79,000 cash, single transaction. They said the car is coming. I have to wait for an hour. I went to another shopping mall. By the time I went there, they called me. They said, "Sir, you have to give another 88,000. We gave you a wrong quotation." I have transferred I called the manager without any document. The money got transferred. And when they said they got the UTI number, but they didn't punch my TR number. Because they were still doubtful whether I'm paying that 80,000 rupees or not.
Okay.
So the company staff have not been well trained to trust their own customers.
Yeah.
And they should understand, if somebody is buying a 23 odd lakh car, that he's going to come back. You already have the 22,79,000. He's going to come back for service. That you can release the car. So the staff, from the executive who has taken my car booking till the managing director, they are not well trained. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, they'll face the music. So trusting your own people, either you lose money or you make money. Trusting people is the most important thing. We can't trust animals, right? I can't trust my dog. I can't give it a lakh of rupees, ask him to shop. I still have to give it to my supervisor to go and buy some stock. So trust is the basic thing in business. We have to trust people. You give him 1 crore of rupees, you give him 1,000 crore, you give him 10 rupees to bring a coffee in the office. You have to trust people.
Okay, very good. So what you have, if I have to conclude, I think we have overshot by 6 minutes, but I'll try to make it very quick. So what you're saying is that emotional balance is very key. Because if you have emotional balance, you will be able to grow your business, you'll be able to deal with people, you will keep your excitement levels also under control, excitement or displeasure or fear, all those things under control. Don't panic when there are financial losses. Put money and make money. Okay. And keep on working when money is not coming, keep on working so that the ball is kept rolling. And
Yes,
trust
when you have when the finances of the companies are going down, you have to plan a little and never get into panic mode.
Correct. Don't go into panic mode. That's what I've written here. Don't panic. And then trust is the basic principle on which the business runs.
Exactly.
Okay. Wonderful. So thank you, gentlemen, for spending time and making this worthwhile. Pretty soon, once I complete this, hopefully in another 2 weeks' time, because not many people have registered this week, so there will be one more week, I guess. And then after that, I will come back to you with a complete compilation of this entire work. So hopefully it will be helpful to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harsha sir.
Jagdish sir, give me an
Thank you, sir.
opportunity
Thank
to
you,
talk to
Amritji.
you sometime.
Yeah, sure.
Right, sir.
You were saying
Bye,
something.
bye.
Harsha,
I
thank you
was
very
asking
much.
Jagdish Garu to give some time to speak to him on sales.
Sure, Amrit Garu. I think you are on the group, right? I'll just save your number now.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are there in the group. SP Rao Garu, I'll save
Yes,
your
sir.
number.
Yes, sir. I too will save your numbers. We will meet up.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Harsha sir is planning something big for entrepreneur group after
Yes,
crossing
yes,
century. One get
Yeah,
together
always,
is there pending.
always.
Yeah, we have to plan one big event. Last time we
Yes, sir.
booked Park Hyatt for a get together, and we wanted to bring some politician or a minister to come and inaugurate something like a book where we will put our stories in that, and we will also have our stalls in that particular place, so that whoever comes, can visit that, get a lot of press coverage. So a big event was planned. So now that the pandemic is going to come to an end between 2022 and 23, we'll plan somewhere around that time. Or we'll see how best to take this thing around. So this is towards that journey only. So you will find more things happening as we make progress. Okay.
Sure,
so thank you very much. But you were saying in the end, you were saying something, Jagdish. What were you saying?
I was just saying, thanking you very much for your good works. Always you do it and you did it again.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.